From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Friday, February 5th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana. The bitter cold is heading our way this weekend, working for you what you need to know to make sure your pipes and furnace are ready.
If there's anything I can do to help make sure my grandparents are okay, to make sure my teachers don't have to fear for their lives while teaching, I will use my voice in any way I can.
COVID-19 is impacting more kids and teens in Indiana. How local high school students are leading the way to help stop the spread of the coronavirus. And today is National Go Red for Women Day. We're focusing on women's health and workouts you can do to keep your heart in shape. All right, it is 6 o'clock here. We finally made it to Friday. Thanks for joining our team on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
Good morning, I'm Rafael Sanchez. On this Red Day, we're supporting Heart Healthy Day. Of course, we may not love the weather outside Todd Lawson, but listen, we're Hoosiers, we're hardy, and we'll deal with it. That's what we do.
Yeah, you know, that's all we can do. You know, you have to remember, we're in the heart of winter right now. It's the beginning of February. February, though, short month, right? And then we're into March. And once we get into March, we can start bringing in some of those warmer temperatures. But we're stuck in this cold weather pattern, at least for the next 2 weeks across the area. So it is something we're going to have to get used to. Right now, 15 in Peru, 20 in Indy right now, 25 is the current temperature, in Bloomington, 21 in Muncie. But factor in the winds, and with the update that just came in at the top of the hour here, -3 is what it feels like now in Peru. 6 is the current real field temperature in Indianapolis. So hat, gloves, the warmest coat you have, the scarf, all needed this morning. The skies have cleared out, and that's one of the reasons why we're seeing the temperatures drop so quickly here this morning. Just a little more in the way of lingering cloud cover off to the east, but all the precipitation is gone. Today, our high temperature gets back up to right around freezing. It's windy, though, from start to finish throughout the day today, and that's going to make it feel even cooler. But I mention freezing today because after today, probably at least for the next 10 to 14 days, we will not get above freezing here in Indianapolis. Lauren.
Todd, thanks. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out on the roads this morning. This is I-465 and Meridian Street up on the north side where you can see traffic is moving along up to speed this morning. No major delays or issues to slow down your commute here. Of course, we're keeping a close eye on your roads as well as school delays. We're up to more than 50 at this hour. You can see several of those delays and closings right now on your screen, but we do have a few new ones I want to add to this list. We just learned Carmel Clay schools are on 2-hour delay, as well as Sheridan Community Schools and Rush County schools on that delay. Meanwhile, South Henry schools are closed today. Newcastle's on an e-learning day. We have a full list of closings and delays running at the bottom of your screen as well. You can also find the full list on your WRTV mobile app and also on the Storm Shield app. Rafael.
Right now, we are facing some bone-chilling temperatures making their way to central Indiana. So the big question this morning, Lauren, is are you ready? In fact, Lauren, at home, I left some of my sinks on the drip, drip, drip mode because I do not want to face any burst pipes this weekend.
Yeah. This would not be a good weekend for that, Rafael. No, and Kelsey Anderson joins us this morning with how you can get your plumbing ready for these extremely cold temperatures. Kelsey.
Well, experts say if you have an exterior faucet or sink like this one, it's important that you leave a small trickle of water running throughout the day. And make sure you open the lower cabinet so you can make sure that heat can get into those pipes. I spoke with Mark Matthews, a plumbing advisor at Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. He says there are several other things you can do to prepare for these cold temperatures, including making sure that your garage door stays down and is closed at all times. He also says if you have a crawl space, it's important that you close those vents and make sure that your heater is working and set to at least between 55 and 60 degrees. He says they're prepared and expecting a high volume of calls after this weekend and into the next week. And he says if your pipes do freeze, you can try to use a space heater to thaw them out, but you need to be careful.
Just be careful where you're putting the heater if you're around a wall, insulation, things like that. But if you're not sure, the best thing to do, if you can turn your main water valve off if it's not froze, just to be safe. Because the problem is if somebody doesn't get out there quick enough, or we don't get out there quick enough, and those pipes thaw, that's when they can the pipes can bust. So if you know where your main shutoff valve is in the house, that's a good thing. or if you're not sure, definitely call us as soon as possible so we can get out there for you.
And if you are going to bring out that space heater, please be careful. Make sure you have it in an open area that's not around other objects, especially flammable objects. And then also make sure that you don't leave that space heater unattended. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, all great advice there to keep us all safe and our homes safe this week, and thank you so much. Now to the latest on COVID-19 and its impact on our state. We're learning more about the 1,500 deaths now added to the state's death toll. Health officials announced that number was corrected after an audit. Here's a look at the updated deaths by month. Most of the added deaths were from November, December, and January. Indiana's total COVID deaths count now stands at 11,231. The Indiana State Health Department is also reporting an increase in cases. 2,403 new cases were reported on Thursday. That's about a 1,000 case increase from Wednesday. More than 633,000 total cases have been reported in our state since the pandemic began.
Well, Raphael, leaders up in Hamilton County are saying that they're seeing an uptick in COVID-19 cases in young people. That's why a task force led by teenagers at 8 local high schools is aiding in efforts to slow down the spread of the virus. The Show Some Class campaign is a partnership between the students and the Hamilton County Health Department. As students start their second semester and the COVID-19 vaccine comes online, they've updated the acronym CLASS. It stands for Commit to Self-Care, Learn About the Vaccine, Avoid In-Home Gatherings, Social Distance and Mask Up, and Stay Home.
We really encourage our students to learn about the vaccine beyond TikTok. We really want our credible sources, and we really want our students doing their research to truly know the importance of a vaccine and what they can do to help.
The reason we picked those seniors is because we knew that they had the most to lose here. Proms, graduations, they wanted to be able to be in school with their peers. And it hasn't looked the same, but at least they're there.
So according to the State Department of Health, 19% of COVID-19 cases in Hamilton County are in the 0 to 19 age group. Raphael.
Good morning to Fishers, Avon, and Bloomington. Another high-profile college basketball event is coming right here to the Circle City. That, of course, coming next month. The Big Ten will move next month's men's basketball tournament from Chicago to Indianapolis, and that's according to a source familiar with that decision. Games will be played March 10th through the 14th at Lucas Oil Stadium. The Big Ten women's basketball tournament was already on the schedule to take place between March 9th through the 13th at Bankers Life Fieldhouse. And the NCAA's entire men's basketball tournament, March Madness, being held right here across the state of Indiana. The NCAA tournament games will be played in Indianapolis on 2 courts inside Lucas Oil Stadium, as well as Bankers Life Fieldhouse, Hinkle Fieldhouse, and Indiana Farmers Coliseum out there at the State Fairgrounds. Early round games will also be hosted at Mackey Arena in West Lafayette and Assembly Hall in Bloomington.
And Raphael, as Hoosiers prepare to watch Super Bowl 55 on Sunday, health officials are urging you to stay safe while watching the game. Indiana Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Bach says it's best to keep the gatherings virtual or only with members of your own household. If you do go out to watch the game, here's a few things to keep in mind.
Wear your mask, practice social distancing, and make sure the venue is taking steps to prevent the spread of the virus. Avoid using public restrooms during high traffic times, such as halftime. And keep in mind that shouting and cheering allows the virus to spread more easily. We all have the same goal in sight, to get through this pandemic as safely as possible.
Dr. Box, thank you for that health advice. We're also focused on another different health matter across the state. Today is National Wear Red Day to, of course, promote heart health. A cardiovascular disease, Lauren, is the leading killer of women across our country.
That's right. And WRTV's own Troy Washington is joining us live this morning from Orange Theory Fitness downtown, where people have been up early working out. Troy, good morning to you. What's going on there today to raise awareness for women's health?
Good morning. Now, everything is on pause currently because we are in the middle of a pandemic. So let's just talk about that really quickly, because they have to take precautions to keep everyone safe here. They have the sanitizer wipes and they spaced out all the classes. So in a few moments, we'll have some people coming in here wearing red, sweating it out for that heart health. But also they've been spraying down all the machines, and they make sure to do that in between every class. So that's the reason for the break here today. Now, the American Heart Association, they have some tips for staying fit and making sure that you're working on that heart health to reduce your risk. Later on, we'll talk to Coach Alexa in between her classes, and she'll tell us why it's important at any age to focus on heart health. Reporting live downtown, I'm Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you so much. During the pandemic, there is also a growing need for at-home caregivers for many seniors. Coming up in Hiring Hoosiers, how you can apply for those open positions across the state. Lauren?
And Raphael, the U.S. is on the verge of getting a third COVID-19 vaccine, the latest on Johnson & Johnson's single-dose vaccine, and the next steps to getting that approved. Todd?
And Lauren, and we are settling into a very, very cold stretch of weather here across central Indiana. In fact, today is going to be the warmest day that we see over the course of the next 10 to 14 days. Look at the scale on the left side of your screen. It only goes up to 30 degrees. We get the big plunge on Sunday when wind chills could be well below 0. We'll talk not only about the temperatures that are going to be dropping, about some snow falling from the sky as well. It's all coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. As you know, Hiring Hoosiers is committed to connecting you to jobs every single day of the week, especially during this tough economic times. Due to the pandemic, more families are choosing to keep their senior relatives at home instead of moving them to retirement facilities. That has led, though, to a growing need for at-home caregivers. The company Home Instead Senior Care is looking to hire more than 100 people across central Indiana. Along with daily tasks, caregivers also provide key companionship. I want you to meet Brenda Steckler. She's been a caregiver for 8 years, and she calls her job a blessing.
You spend so many hours every day with them, and they become like family. So it's wonderful to spend time with them and get to know their family, and it's a real blessing. I really enjoy that a lot.
Home Instead Care positions are available right now. You don't need any special certifications for that job, and the company also provides some training. For more details on that job and so many more, go to our website, hiringhoosiers.com.
Raphael, let's go now to a major development in the race to vaccinate America. We know the FDA is set to review a COVID vaccine now from Johnson & Johnson.
And this would be the third vaccine in circulation and could also help speed up the number of people getting the shot. ABC's Kenneth Moten has more details on this developing story.
This morning, America is on the verge of getting a third vaccine to fight COVID. Johnson & Johnson is now seeking emergency use authorization for its shot, known to be 100% effective at preventing hospitalizations and deaths.
In the critical area of keeping people out of the hospital and making sure they don't die, it did very, very well.
The Johnson & Johnson vaccine is also easier to handle than current vaccines available. It can be stored at regular refrigerator temperatures, and it requires only one shot instead of two. The FDA says outside experts will review the vaccine February 26. It will likely be available in March, according to Dr. Anthony Fauci.
That'll be yet again another good vaccine in the armamentarium of our tools to fight this pandemic.
A third vaccine can't come soon enough. In Pennsylvania, the Allegheny County Health Department opened a hotline to schedule appointments and reported 15,000 calls per second. In the Bronx, it's opening day at Yankee Stadium for vaccines. The state hopes to vaccinate 15,000 people at the site in the first week.
People are very responsive.
In the meantime, more school districts are looking into whether they can make summer school mandatory as more students fall behind because of the pandemic. Virginia's governor is expected to announce his support to extend the school year through summer. And Atlanta public schools are considering a summer school requirement, one official calling the drop in student performance the COVID-19 slide. But many parents oppose the idea.
I think these kids need a break.
Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
All right, as the kids head off to the bus stop here in central Indiana this morning, make sure you check the school closings and delays. There are some out there at the WRTV app and also the web page. Outside right now, we are dealing with quiet conditions. So all those school delays are from what happened yesterday and then refreezing that's taken place overnight. There's no precipitation across central Indiana this morning. It's just all about the cold, and it's going to be about the cold for at least the next 2 weeks here, unfortunately, across central Indiana, and then we'll mix in a little bit of snow here and there as well. 20 degrees is the current temperature, but it only feels like 6 in Indy, and the reason, the wind. It woke me up a couple times throughout the overnight hours, may have done the same for you. Sustained at 15, but some wind gusts up to 30 to 40 miles per hour this Friday morning. 15 is what temperature is in Peru, 17 in Tipton, 24 is the current temperature in Bloomington, but this is what it feels like in Peru. You've been in the negative numbers here now for several hours this morning. Feels like -3. 6 is what it feels like in Indy as well as Muncie. As for the wind, they're going to start to subside just a little bit. The gusts, at least sustained winds, are still going to be with us throughout much of the day. But I do think we won't probably get into those 40-mile-per-hour gusts as the day progresses, but they'll still be getting anywhere from 15 to about 25 miles per hour. So it is a bit of an issue for us here throughout the course of the day today. And that's what these funky-looking symbols mean. That's the wind gusts. They look like fish hooks, but that indicates gusty winds. Noontime temperature, 28. We only get up to 32 degrees for your high today, but it's going to feel much colder than that when you factor in that wind. But 32 is significant, not because it's the freezing mark, but because I don't think we get above that number again. Probably, I was looking at some of the long-range models until after Valentine's Day, so that's still over a week away. We are locked in with this cold air. The clouds continue to move out. There could be a stray flurry across some northern locations this morning, but that is just about it. It's Friday night. You may have some plans. Take your loved one out to dinner, just going out with some friends. Temperatures will be in the 20s, but again, you have to cut those temperatures by about at least 10 to 15 degrees when you factor in the wind. Now, tomorrow, the daytime hours are completely dry. You'll notice the clouds increase, starting in the teens, getting up to right around 27 for your afternoon high. Once the sun sets, and shortly after the sun sets, we'll start to track some snow into the area. And this is going to be a very quick-moving system, but it could be pretty intense, reducing visibilities and quickly putting down some accumulation. So if you do have Saturday evening plans, be aware that this is going to make its way through the area. It'll be out of here by Sunday morning. That's the good news. So most of the snow is going to fall pretty late night into early Sunday morning, but we could see probably about 1 to 2 inches of snow across the area, with some areas to the north even seeing a little bit more than that. So it's a quick hitting snow, but it could cause some issues on the roadways both Saturday night and Sunday morning. And then it's just all about the bitter cold air. 12 on Sunday, wind chills as cold as -25 at times Sunday morning. Another snowmaker on Tuesday, and Wednesday and Thursday, high temperatures, Lauren, only still in the teens.
Well, all right, Todd, let's get a look at traffic as you're heading out the door this Friday morning. Taking you up here to Fishers. Good morning to you in Hamilton County. I-69 here. A look near State Road 37 where traffic is traveling smoothly, picking up both northbound and southbound. No major crashes or issues to slow you down at this early hour. Raphael?
So the White House, Lauren, is considering a proposal to mail masks to all Americans. It was originally an idea from the Trump administration that got scrapped. The White House Chief of Staff says that President Biden hopes to make progress on this plan in the next week. The idea came up last year with plans for the U.S. Postal Service, as you may recall, to distribute 650 million face coverings. But President Trump's economic advisors were reportedly worried that doing such a thing would, of course, create concern or panic across the country.
Well, Lowe's is joining several other companies this Super Bowl in giving back rather than buying ad time. The home improvement retailer will donate money towards critical home repairs for the frontline workers every time the word home is mentioned during a commercial. It's partnering with nonprofit Rebuilding Together to make this possible. Lowe's also plans to give an additional $100,000 to fund home repairs in the winning team city. So after a long pandemic year, many people are just itching to get away. But is it too soon to plan that summer vacation? Coming up, which destinations are open and which ones you want to avoid so you don't waste your money, Raphael?
And here's a heart-healthy tip on this Friday. Consider eating some colorful vegetables to brighten your day and, of course, vary your nutrient spectrum. As you know, February is American Heart Month, and each morning here on Good Morning Indiana, we'll share a tip to help you and your family stay healthy. The tips are all part of the Go Red for Women campaign. That's why we're all wearing red today on GMI, sponsored by the American Heart Association. Let's take a quick look outside. Good morning to Noblesville, Nashville, and New Palestine. All great places to call home in central Indiana. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on this Friday morning on WRTV.
Welcome back. It is 6:24. Raphael, this is the time of the show where we chat about what is trending at 6. So kick us off.
Now, people who watch our newscast know that we love to eat. We love to eat, and so this is a great story to begin the trending at 6, right? So NASA is offering thousands of dollars to people who can come up with the next new healthy food for people to eat in space. The astronauts, right? The space agency has started the Deep Space Food Challenge. Participants will design nutritious food systems for missions to Mars and beyond. People in the U.S. can compete for up to $500,000. Now, Lauren, for me, I think that any menu, this is an editorial statement from me, I think needs to require in some way Oreos, Cheetos, Funyuns, and grape Fanta. Not together in a mix, but, you know, they should go up in a spaceship of some kind.
Okay.
Just my idea, my thought.
Okay. Well, you and Mark Mullins, I think, are on the Funyun train. I don't know if I can get behind that or not. Grape Fanta, I like that choice. That's funny. Learn something about Raphael every day. Well, a New York man is discovering historical treasures hidden in his new law office. David Whitcomb says he found a secret attic filled with remnants of late 19th century photography studio. There were glass negatives, furniture, stacks of pictures. But the biggest find here was a framed photo of suffragist leader Susan B. Anthony. Whitcomb is now working to develop those glass negatives, which could be hiding even more treasures. We'll have to wait and see.
I wonder what are behind the walls of the studio there at WRTV, Lauren. Let me know.
Trash,
when you find
probably. We'll see. Todd and I will go on a little scavenger hunt after the show.
Let me know what you find. Now, hey, listen, while you may not be loving the forecast today, we do love those who provide it every single day. So today, we celebrate, I didn't know this, it's National Weather Person's Day. And of course, we honor all the individuals in the fields of meteorology, especially our Todd Clausen. Todd, I did not know this, but you are guaranteed for the month of March a full supply of Funyuns, grape Fanta, and Oreos.
Well, thank you guys. I haven't had grape soda in forever. I do like the Funyuns sometimes there, Raphael. So I'll partake with you. Maybe we'll get
throw
Lauren.
in some gum as well.
Todd. What's that?
I'll throw in some gum for the Funyuns. So you'll have a full supply.
We'll be good. We need the mint gum afterwards, that's for sure. We'll see if we can get Lauren to try one. So we'll see. All right, outside right now we are dealing with temperatures in the teens and 20s. The precipitation has moved out. There could be a stray flurry, but you don't really have to worry about any precipitation falling from the sky. You do have to worry about, though, some of the refreezing that took place overnight. We had all that rain, sleet, and snow yesterday afternoon and evening, and then the temperatures dropped, and it was very icy on my sidewalk and then in the back alley at my home this morning. So just be careful of that. The roads were in pretty good shape, but we do have some school delays out there. 16 in Logansport, 24 in Bloomington. It's been windy overnight tonight. The wind will be with us throughout the entire day, and that's going to put wind chill values from start to finish today, Lauren, anywhere between 15 and 25 degrees, even though our actual high temperature will be getting up to 32.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. So are you starting to get that cabin fever after nearly 10 months in this pandemic? Well, if so, you may be thinking about planning a summer vacation. John Matarese looks into what's considered safe right now and what's not, so you don't waste your money.
If you've been stuck home for months, you might be itching to travel again this summer. And despite the pandemic, travel agents say many people are now starting to make plans. Leslie Sawhook is a travel agent who saw her business crater last year with COVID lockdowns. But this new year, clients desperate for a vacation are ringing her cell phone every day.
Some of our clients have already had COVID and they have antibodies, so they feel safe traveling. Some of them have, underlying health conditions and they're not safe to travel.
If you feel safe booking this summer, Leslie says many tropical destinations will welcome you.
Barbados, Jamaica, Aruba, some of the islands in Hawaii, Mexico, they are all accepting travel right now.
You may need a COVID test to fly home, but she says some resorts have a great option.
Heaven forbid you do test positive, a lot of them will put you up for free for the quarantine period.
Where not to go? Canada is still closed to Americans, and Europe is still a no-go.
You're planning on going to Europe. Honestly, this summer's probably not your summer, so let's move everything over to 2022.
Now, if you're like me, you're probably playing it by ear and figure you'll see how bad COVID is and then maybe plan a road trip. But Leslie has a caution, especially if you're thinking of visiting a theme park.
A lot of people plan last-minute trips, and what they don't realize right now is because they are operating at limited capacity, just because you have a ticket doesn't mean you can get in.
If you're thinking of Disney World or Universal, Leslie says reserve your tickets and dates so you're not locked out. And remember, Disneyland is still closed. Finally, if you're itching to cruise, she suggests waiting.
In order to start sailing, they have to do test sails, and they haven't even started doing that yet.
If you're on the fence, Leslie suggests you go ahead and book a trip, but make sure you'll still be allowed to cancel in the event you test positive for COVID so you don't waste your money. I'm John Batteries. Good morning, Indiana.
From the station working for you, this is breaking news from WRTV.
Now to breaking news from overnight. President Biden's $1.9 trillion COVID relief bill is one step closer to becoming law. The Senate has been voting nonstop since Thursday afternoon, and they just passed a budget resolution blocking the threat of a filibuster from Republicans. The resolution passed on party lines, 51-50, with Vice President Kamala Harris's tie-breaking vote. It's her first tie-breaking vote since becoming vice president. The bill now goes back to the House since it was amended by the Senate. A final vote on the COVID relief bill is expected within the next few weeks.
Back here at home, let's take you to Monroe County, where Bloomington police are looking for a man connected to a homicide. Police are looking for 30-year-old Eric Quinton Jones. He's wanted in connection to the strangulation of a woman found dead in a burned apartment. You can find a description of Jones and what he may be driving right now on the WRTV app.
And the Indianapolis Airport Authority has a new fire chief this morning. Before joining the airport fire department, Fred Purvine served with IFD for more than 35 years. Purvine replaces former airport fire chief Rick Gentry, who recently retired.
College athletes across the country could soon be getting paid for playing. Senator Chris Murphy of Connecticut has introduced a bill guaranteeing college athletes the right to earn money from endorsements and sponsorship deals. It would also prevent the NCAA, schools, and conferences from imposing any restrictions. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Friday. It will be the kind of weekend, Lauren and Todd, that you'll want to stay underneath all of your covers, all 18,000, find grandma's quilt, put on the electric blanket. No need to leave your home this weekend. But in the meantime, let's enjoy this Friday, right, guys?
Yes, you need all the things. Raphael, you're already at home, so even though it looks like you're in the studio, you got the green screen behind you.
Don't tell anybody. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It looks like you're right next to us, but you're lucky and you get to maybe you have the heat on at your house. But Todd and I had to come into work this morning, and Todd, I can confirm it is a little slick in the parking lot if there's areas that were wet overnight.
Yeah, you know, anything that was out there as far as moisture from the rain, snow, and sleet yesterday froze very, very quickly overnight. So if the parking lots, your sidewalks, your front steps, if you didn't see any salt, or they didn't see any salt, they're going to be slick in spots. The main roads on my way into work were just fine. Obviously, they were salted, but watch out for some of those bridges and overpasses, especially this morning on the secondary roads. But there's no additional precipitation in the forecast for the day today. Temperatures this morning are in the 20s. The winds have been an issue overnight, and they continue to be an issue here this morning, and they'll be with us, unfortunately, throughout the remainder of the day. And this is what it really feels like currently up in Miami County, the Peru area, -3. 6 is what it feels like in Indy. Hat, gloves, and the heavy coat and scarf definitely required. There could be a stray flurry here throughout the day today as we kind of toggle back and forth between partly to mostly cloudy skies, but no prolonged precipitation or anything that's going to cause any issues. Your actual high today gets up to 32 degrees, but unfortunately it's going to feel more like the teens and 20s when you factor in that wind. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a live look right now at traffic. This is I-70 here in Minnesota Street to our west. You can see traffic there is moving along smoothly, both eastbound and westbound. No crashes, no delays at this hour to slow down your commute, so that is good news. But we are monitoring dozens of school delays and closings that are coming into our newsroom on this Friday. so take a look at your screen. Carmel Clay Schools, Newcastle Schools, Muncie Schools, and Peru Schools, you guys are on a 2-hour delay today. Meanwhile, Western Wayne, South Henry, Randolph Eastern Schools, you're all closed today. For a full list of closings and delays, it's scrolling at the bottom of your screen. You can also find that full list on the WRTV mobile app and also on the Storm Shield app. Raphael?
Yeah, this morning, a number of Indiana counties are sending a warning of caution to those of you before you hit the roads. The counties you see on your screen right now, highlighted in yellow, have issued some travel advisories. That's the lowest level of travel advisory, and that means you should use caution if you have to be out and about this morning. Marshall and Fulton counties in northern Indiana have issued a travel watch limiting travel to essential travel only on their roads.
So if you haven't already, it's time to start preparing for the bitter cold temperatures heading our way this weekend. This morning, WRTV's own Kelsey Anderson shows us how to get your house ready for the extreme cold. Kelsey, good morning.
Well, when temperatures this cold are starting to roll in, we want to make sure that we don't go without heat. And so you want to make sure that this big guy continues to work throughout those frigid temperatures. And experts say the first thing you want to do is check that air filter and make sure it's clean and change it if you need to. Along with that, Chad Langdon with 1 Hour Heating and Air says you should walk around your house and make sure no registers or grills are blocked. That way, that warm air can flow smoothly throughout the house. And if you do lose heat, not only will you be freezing, but there's potential for more problems, like your pipes possibly freezing. If something does go wrong, Langdon says they are ready to help.
We do operate 24/7, and we have people ready to run calls pretty much any time. Yep, you can give us a call. We can schedule an appointment for a service tech to come out, take a look at it, and see what needs to be done to get it back up and running again.
Now, if you are someone who likes your house on the cooler side, that's okay. But experts say that your heat should be set to at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit. That way it can work properly and keep the inside of your house warm. Working for you, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Kelsey, thank you so much. All great things to consider this upcoming weekend and every single day during these winter months. Now, beyond your home, you want to make sure that your vehicle is ready for the cold weather this weekend and every day as well. That means having a safety kit in your vehicle, and that kit should include a number of things: a de-icer, a snow brush, ice scraper, jumper cables, a rechargeable battery to jump your car, a spare tire, and a car jack, as well as consider having a shovel and kitty litter to help you dig out if you get stuck in the snow or to give you some traction on the ice.
Well, Raphael, February is all about women's heart health. Just ahead this morning, we're looking at the importance of staying alive, especially in this pandemic. It's 6:36. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Indiana lawmakers are making some big changes to how they would spend dollars from a proposed cigarette tax increase. The bill also adds a new tax hike on vaping liquids. Now, under the revisions, 40% of the funds are directed to Medicaid reimbursements for healthcare providers. The original proposal had a majority of those dollars going to the state's general fund and pension programs. The proposal, now headed to the House Ways and Means Committee, adds $1 to the state's current cigarette tax.
Well, February focuses on women's heart health, and the American Heart Association's Go Red for Women campaign is now in full swing. Our own Troy Washington is joining us live this morning from Orange Theory Fitness here in downtown Indy. Troy, it is a busy morning there. What can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that the energy is upbeat here. You can hear it behind me, and you can also see that sea of red as women and men raise awareness about heart health. And when it comes down to it, the American Heart Association says there are things you can do, like weight training. You can lift your weights. It doesn't have to be much. Now, Alexa, Coach Alexa, she is working right now, teaching this class. So I'm sure she has a moment for me. Just tell me, how often should you be getting those workouts in?
We're thinking about 2 to 3 times a week, incorporating physical activity, strength training, right, and heart rate-based interval training into your workout.
Now, does it matter about age?
No, it does not matter about age. Today is the day. You should start any age.
So you heard it from her. It doesn't matter. You're never too young or too old to focus on heart health. Reporting live downtown, I'm Troy Washington. WRTV.
With what? A lot of? Troy, thank you so much for that. Just got all caught up in figuring out my New Year's resolution is to get back to working out. Thank you, Troy, for that report. People who live outside of Indiana and work from home may get quite an offer from the legislature. Listen to this. Lawmakers considering a bill in which anyone making $100,000 or less who relocates to Indiana could earn up to $5,000 in reimbursement for taxes and moving costs. Those making over $100,000 could get $8,500. The checks would be sent out after you live in the state for 1 year. State Representative Martin Karboff of Fort Wayne wrote that bill. He says it's a way to take advantage of the increasing numbers of remote workers and to keep the local economy thriving. Of course, this is just still a proposal. A lot of Indianapolis's history sits along Indiana Avenue near downtown. Coming up, how a new scholarship program at IUPUI shines a light on the avenue's rich African-American history. But first on this Friday, let's check on your forecast with our Todd Clausen. Good morning, TK.
Raphael, good morning to you. Happy Friday, everybody. We are going to have a very, very cold day today as temperatures will struggle to get to freezing, but the Arctic air is just getting ready to settle into central Indiana for the next couple days. Even the next couple weeks, it's going to be below normal temperature-wise. We'll break down the temperature trend and also talk about some snow heading our way this weekend coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It is 6:44 here on Good Morning Indiana on your Friday. Let's take a look at the latest data as the state continues to battle this coronavirus. This morning, state health officials confirmed more than 2,400 coronavirus cases. The state also reports 37 additional Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Now, since the start of the pandemic, more than 11,000 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. Let's take a look at the vaccine dashboard now on your screen. Nearly 638,000 Hoosiers have received their first dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. We can also tell you nearly 179,000 people in our state are fully vaccinated.
A partnership between state health leaders and the Indiana Minority Health Coalition is working to address the fear of getting the vaccine. Officials say their first priority, of course, was making sure information about testing and the vaccine was available in multiple languages. Now they're trying to build confidence in the shot by recruiting trusted community leaders to help share vaccine information. That could be anyone from a physician to a popular radio DJ. Organizers will work on creating video testimonials to connect with those who are hesitant to get the vaccine.
There's probably no